Amiibo. Honestly, not much to start with this one. It's simply just like I needed to open this for the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword review. I needed to use it. And I was like, I have a bunch of other Amiibo I haven't even opened yet. Just because it didn't make sense to me on how or why to open them. And eventually, it just got to a point where I couldn't stop getting them and not opening them at all. So I thought it would be fun to just take a look at each and every single one of these, one by one, kind of go over the games that they represent, maybe what they do, and especially the box art, because Amiibo box art has changed over time, like dramatically speaking. And this one actually, I got here in the US, but if you can tell, it's Japanese. Now, why is that? I have no idea. I'm gonna be honest, I genuinely got this from a Target. I saw it was Japanese, and that was it. I really don't know much more than that. And this gives, like, the most basic functionality. I will say, the fact that it also says 3DS on this is surprising, because this can't work on anything with the 3DS unless it just, like, you scan it, you get extras, like, you know, in Hyrule Warriors, like, you get, like, generic kind of, I don't know, like rupees, a weapon, so something that doesn't really matter much, I guess. Maybe it could be Skyward Sword related. I don't know. I haven't tested it because obviously I'm opening it. I will say, like, in terms of the art itself, like, I will say, I was surprised. I'm gonna be honest, Zelda and her Loftwing, it was a big surprise. I would have thought it would have just been Link's Loftwing, but then I realized it wouldn't have sold. But Zelda's Loftwing, I mean, I guess since we already have, like, Skyward Sword Link as an Amiibo, it kind of made sense, just in the fact that, like, you know, like, there, like, it just, you know, it was already there for the, I think it was the 30th anniversary, but now you just got the website, you got, like, all of the oddities and goodies on this, but it was interesting that I found a Japanese one out in the wild. So let's open this and take a look. Which, by the way, ever since they added a little plate under here, it really sucks for collectors, but I know why, because people just go to the store and scan them, but people are going to scan them and put them online anyway at that point. Like, the more they pay attention to an issue, the more it's going to, like, you know. Now, let's take a look here. I will say these figures are very articulated, and I think the plastic's hardened. Wow, it did. Okay, there we go. Well, you know what? This has a lot more detail than I actually anticipated. I'm gonna be real. This actually has a lot more detail than I initially thought. There's a weird, like, crevice in the back, and I think that's just where, like, you put the molds together, which is fine. Like, I expect that. But, man, you even got the feet texture, too. Like, the bird's feet. Like, man, that is wild. Loving that, though. I don't know. It's just when it comes to, like, Skyward Sword, it was the Zelda game that I played a little bit on the Wii, and then my data corrupted with that whole, like, patch they had to do. And I haven't played it since. And now that I'm doing it again for the channel, pretty wild, actually. Alright, speaking of Zelda and disappointing, like, it's just disappointing, what they do, which I thought I had a, hold on, I have not only Ganondorf, but Link and Zelda. It took me a hot minute to find them. I knew I had them somewhere. Each of these in Tears of the Kingdom, I will say, brings something odd, like, if you look on the back here, right? And again, I don't know why they put the 3DS on here. It's very interesting because that was, like, discontinued. Also, wait a minute. These are all Japanese as well. I just noticed that as well. Interesting. So yeah, like, these aren't, I don't know if in Japan they're a little more usable, on the 3DS or something like that. But each of these gives you, I guess, a weapon. Like, this gives you a claymore, this gives you a broadsword, and this gives you, the weird, like, I think the the Yiga sword. But they also give you a weird paraglider, like, mix, which is fine. Again, I collect these because I like the figures and such, and that's pretty much it. Also, how many times is this sword gonna get broken? Like, I'm gonna be honest, this sword gets broken a lot recently. It baffles me. It really baffles me. How the Master Sword really needs a buff, especially after Breath of the Wild when it did get a buff in the DLC. But in terms of the box arts on each of these, I liked Tears of the Kingdom's art a lot more than Breath of the Wild. Very, like, painted, very so on. But Ganondorf, now, let me tell you, this guy's a hunk. But Zelda in the, like, I'm sorry, man, she is caked up. Like from here to cake, she is caked up. But, fan service aside, I really do like the designs. I will say there's a lot of maturity now when it comes to Legend of Zelda as well, that I'm a big fan of, to be honest. Like, I like that it's more mainstream. I like that it's more out in the open, and people can talk about it now, versus back when, Skyward Sword came out. It was kind of frowned upon. Not frowned upon, maybe that's not the right term, but it just seems like, like, all of the artwork and stuff like that, like, it was childish. Even though it's similar, it was still considered childish. But now that Zelda's mainstream, like, we're in a Zelda movie? Like, woof. But yeah, besides the disappointment of Tears of the Kingdom as a game, in my opinion, and the disappointment of the Collector's Edition when it came to the Steelbook, the Amiibos were pretty good. And now with the Amiibo prices rising, it's almost like a shame to open these. But, I thought it would be fun to open these up and kind of just take a look at them. Because each Amiibo, these got flimsy over the years. These used to be, like, genuine cardboard. They got really flimsy over the years. How did this one fare out, anyway? Because this is older. No, they're flimsy. Jeez. They really messed around with the whole, like, they used to be, like, cardboards. She really reminds me of someone that I still love because of the whole short hair and stuff, like, But I will say this Zelda she's unique. I don't think she's the best Zelda, but she's not the worst. Like, if I had to say, like, who the worst Zelda was... Oh, man. That's a loaded question. Like, who is the worst Zelda? Like, who is just flat out... Zelda 2. Like, she just gets she is put to sleep, and you just have to save her from something. It's funny, too, because there was a recent, like, port of Zelda when it came to Zelda 2 on itch, and it was, like, free and stuff like that. I don't think I could put it down below. I'm sorry about that, guys. Those ninjas are fierce. But let's continue on, because, like, I kid you not, these are fantastic figures. I don't have a display case. I really wish I had a display case for these. I actually end up just putting them in a box. And it's very upsetting to me that I have to just put these in a box for now. But, I still take them out and I use them when I need them. Like Skyward Sword, for example. Now, Daddy Dwarf, let me tell you, when that boss fight came up and he decided to have an extra set of health, that blew my mind. That was the most Skyrim thing I've ever seen, which basically, I hate to say it, but they kind of did take that from, like every generic boss, where it's like, oh, you've been bamboozled. They even took it from, like, I'd say even Bowser had second phases, too, that are just like, whoa, like the new Super Mario Bros. U, where he grew, like, huge. But in terms of him and the sword, I cannot wait to play as this thick boy. In terms of the face, I mean, like, it is wild. Very interesting. I will say he is, like, he got a smile on his face. Like, I don't know, this design isn't the best, it's not the worst, but they made him a hunk on purpose. Because let's face it, if she was thick, he was definitely going to be thicker. Now, my boy Link, this guy suffered a lot recently. I mean, like, not as much as this Zelda, right? Like, I feel like this Zelda has suffered a lot, but, like, he lost a hand, and now it's replaced with some dead guy's hand, and, it's just wild to me to think... Now, it's like, what's gonna happen to this Link? Like, what's the next gig gonna actually entail? We don't actually know where it's gonna even fall in the timeline. They could do something completely new. But this Link was cool. I think, like, the hand gesture is awesome, but I don't know, it's not the same. Like, I like his Tunic of the Wild 2.0, but, like, I don't know, part of me wanted something a little new. I can't explain it. It's just Tears of the Kingdom feels like Breath of the Wild 2, in my opinion. And not for any bad reason, I love Breath of the Wild, but to me, it just didn't really pan out the same way. I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts down below? Like, what do you think of Breath of the Wild compared to, like, Tears of the Kingdom? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I don't know what to think. The only reason I even opened these was because I wanted the Skyloft Amiibo and I needed a reason to open my Amiibo, which is fine. I will say, in terms of everything, these are good. Like, I'm happy I spent the money on these ages ago. Because now, obviously, Amiibo prices are going up, as I said, to ludicrous prices. But, let's just move on to Super Mario Amiibo. I think, over time, these obviously were going to come back in stock. These were actually some of the hardest ones to find back in the day, and as you could tell, these are the newer prints, where basically, like, they don't have, like, this, right? Like, this apparently must have been, like, either, I don't know, like a first print, like, when is this dated? Let me see here. Is this, yeah, this is an actual 2016 Donkey Kong Amiibo, versus these, where it is it even dated? I don't think it is. No, these aren't dated. They're made so generically now because they used to be part of the Wii U's lineup, but there's actually no discernible date on this. That, to me, is weird, just because, I don't know, I kind of liked knowing that this was from 2016, and, like, I kind of regret opening it, but I don't really care that much. Like, you know, like, playing Mario Party 10 or Star Rush wasn't on my list of things to do that much, and, like, I'm just happy to have a Donkey Kong Amiibo. I don't have Diddy Kong, and I think I'm missing one other. I'm not sure. These are just the ones that I have to open up, and I have to, like, kind of, like, shift through and see, like, what ones do I actually have, what do I not have, because, like, I just want complete sets of at least Mario, Zelda, and Smash Brothers. Those are my complete sets. Kirby, I mean, like, there's only 4, so I might as well get those too, and I know what you say down below. It's like, oh, he's just gonna get them all. Like, no, I don't want the Monster Hunter ones. I don't want that one that's a cube that's, like, $400 for some reason. But I actually tested this one. It does glow in the dark. Now, obviously, it's daylight right now, and, you know, you could see videos online of this glowing in the dark. I actually had to test this out for myself, because it is crazy that this glows in the dark. Now, the box art for these are very generic, except for the Boo one. I guess the Boo one had to be black to point out the fact that it glows in the dark. Other than that, I mean, the artwork has been fairly consistent, nothing crazy. What interests me, though, the most is, again, the Wii U and the 3DS stuff, and this apparently was around the time with the 3DS, the new 3DS, getting that Amiibo thing, which I would kill for that. But, alas, I don't have a 3DS NFC reader, which is okay, because it's life. Let's open up Donkey Kong first, because that's the one that, like, really hurts the most for me, just because of the time lapse with this, because, you know, you really feel like you're opening a time capsule when it comes to these things. And, I mean, these are very detailed and articulated figures, just because of, I mean, it's Nintendo. They're too arrogant to not have high quality. I love when companies can be arrogant and flaunt their stuff around. I love when people can be arrogant because they know they're too bad to fail, but then, like, all of a sudden, it's like, hey, you know, like, we messed up, and then you actually genuinely see the humbleness of certain companies. Nintendo right now might be eating dust with the Switch 2. Don't know yet. See how that's going. There's a lot of comparisons for the Wii U. But in terms of Amiibo, this guy is, he's alright. It seems like it seems like they would have patched this out. The lining here, it seems like they would have patched that out, in my opinion. Let's open up Koopa Troopa. You don't have anything special. He's a Koopa Troopa. I don't even remember what he was supposed to play. Was he just a Mario Party? Like, was he a Mario Party guy? Like, I can't remember, because I know they had Goomba and Boo, and I think Boo is in Mario Party and Superstars, I think. Don't quote me on that. Like, what does he do? Like, realistically, what does he do? I don't know. I think that's why he was so rare to find originally, if I'm being honest. I don't remember him being in anything. I mean, again, I don't have Mario Party Superstars. I know I'm eventually going to tackle those maybe after Zelda and Smash Brothers, but wow, what a crazy, crazy thing to have a Koopa Troopa amiibo. Not because Koopa Troopa doesn't deserve love, but because what can he do? Now, Boo, on the other hand, I don't know. I wanted, like, a Boo Mario amiibo for Galaxy when the 3D All-Stars came out. Like, if they had an amiibo for every Mario character, or not Mario character, every version of Mario that came out since, I would have loved that so much. He doesn't feel any different. I mean, he definitely, he might have, like, a little bit of that, like, some texture kind of paint stuff, just because of the, like, the glow-in-the-dark stuff. I don't even know if you can see it on camera, but it's, like, not matted, but, like, you can tell. And there's also a little crease underneath, which surprises me, because it's like, this is a very round thing. It could just be a glop of plastic, and then you just pop this, you know, like, piece underneath. So I don't know if they put something in it, maybe to weigh it down. It's not hollow. It is genuinely, it's genuinely not hollow. So it's quality, it's just weird, I guess. I don't know, when it comes to Mario Bros. Amiibos, like, I expected the main cast, I didn't expect enemies to become part of it. That was my thing, that kind of, like, psyched me out. I was like, whoa, why are you here? And then, why are you here? And, like, okay, cool, you're here. But then Diddy Kong is still super, super rare to get. I don't know. Also, rest in peace, rare design Donkey Kong. I don't know if we're gonna get an amiibo of the new design of Donkey Kong, but to me now this seems more like a collector's item because Nintendo's going in the direction they originally wanted to go with Donkey Kong before rare, and I miss him. I'm gonna be honest, I actually really, really, really miss him. I wish we had the option for that on the home menu, just the new and the old. I think that would have been fine, unless you have the Donkey Kong Country Returns ones. That's fine, I guess, but, you know. Alright, let's start now with Peach and Bowser. Specifically the Mario Odyssey Wedding ones, and since this was the last, like, mainline Mario game that Charles Martinet voiced, it's a bit bittersweet. I beat Odyssey. I didn't get all 99 moons, but I did beat it. I think I had like 600 or 700 moons. And I'm gonna be honest, the fact that they're repackaging it, Odyssey, it kind of shows that maybe it's like they shouldn't have replaced Charles, or they should have let him, you know, voice it until he passed, like he had said ages ago. Just because, like, I didn't like the new voice of Mario Wonder. Like, maybe it's because I'm stuck up and I'm old, but it really didn't hit a chord with me. And neither did the Luigi. I think there's different voice actors and such. And we never did get a new Super Mario Bros. Game where we had Wario, Waluigi, Mario, and Luigi all playable, all voiced by Charles Martinet. Seemed like a big missed opportunity to have that. They could have done that for... I mean, they could have even done that for New Super Mario Bros. Like, they really missed the opportunity because, like, come on, think of what could have incentivized Wario and Waluigi. I'm just saying, they had an opportunity, they missed it. In terms of Mario Odyssey, like, these amiibo don't do much. I think one gives you a power-up, and the other reveals a moon nearby, and then the Mario one, I think, gives you extra... No, wait. I'm trying to remember, because these don't do much in terms of, like, gameplay stuff. They give you extras, and, like, they're worth the money if you play the games consistently, but if you're good enough at the games, they kind of don't really matter, or the internet's free. These, again, are just purely aesthetic, in my opinion. It's not like this, where this was a major gameplay functionality that I genuinely wanted to talk about. I mean, I like, again, like, Amiibo Party for Mario Party 10, for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna be honest, was, like, the only reason why you should have bought Amiibo back in the day for the Mario Bros, because there was nothing else around. And in terms of, like, Tears of the Kingdom giving you gliders and weapons, like, whoop-de-doo, Amiibo functionality doesn't really go far, and especially with the Amiibo we're going to get into later, they used to go far. I feel like it's been a dive, but let's start with Peach, right? And in terms of the box art, she's shocked, she's in a wedding thing, and hello, Leo. I don't know if you can hear my cat in the background. But, I don't know, like, seeing Peach in a wedding dress was kind of interesting, and then they really carried that over into the movie, which was nice. Alright, let's open her up. Don't take that out of context. Anyway, alright, I mean, wow. This is a thick amiibo. I like the glossy finish. I really do. And in terms of like I want to say like the sparkles, it's nice that that's integrated. It's a small touch. Also, glitter is one of the weirdest things on this earth, as in like no one really knows, at least from my knowledge, how to make it, and its only factory is like one of the only 2 factories I think is like in New Jersey, which is like the weirdest rabbit hole to go down. It's just kind of funny because it's like, it's glitter, like, you know, I don't know. What, Leo? I'm recording you, poor sweet child. Oh, do you see a bee outside? Is that it? Okay. He sees a bee outside, and he's just very, like, yeah. Now, Bowser, on the other hand, look, I'm sorry, he has fallen from grace, and, like, to be a lover boy from the leader of, like, you know, the Koopa Troop and the Galaxy, like, you know, in Mario Galaxy, he was a threat. Here, he just seems like some, you know, like some creep at the gym. I don't know. I'm just saying. Also, there's no way she isn't getting kidnapped on purpose at this point. I'm sorry for anyone who's saying it, but, you know. It's just, there's no date on this. There used to be art on the back of these. I don't even know if for the Mario Odyssey amiibo, they, like, switched the art back up, but you can tell which one you have based on, like, the back if you have a newer amiibo. And to me, it's kind of disappointing. I feel like those backs, like, they had some really good artwork on the back, especially, like, you know, like the Donkey Kong, like, you know, it's just, as someone who is into graphic design, this is top tier, right? You have the 2 consoles, you have the game, it could be used for, and then, you know, a little advertisement right on the side. That versus this is boring. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. Like, speaking of, just, you know, like, Odyssey was great. I liked it, but it was not better than Galaxy, in my humble opinion. However, we didn't get Galaxy amiibo. A little upset. I want Galaxy 3. Now, Bowser, though, I mean, the details here, it is here. I don't like how a little bit of the, like, you could see his, like, the separation of the plastics. Like, I don't know. I felt like it could have been done better, but it also, like, you know, in terms of the other Bowser amiibo, I mean, it's thick. I don't know. It just seems like they used a similar mold, or they changed the mold, because if I remember correctly, his hand went from, like, this to this, and you could just turn his hand a little bit like this, and it's the same pose. It's like, it feels like the same Bowser, or at least the same mold for the shell, same mold for the head, and the same mold for the arms and the legs. It doesn't feel entirely unique. They just put, like, clothing on him. If that makes sense to anyone. I'm not gonna cut into this and kind of put my theory to the test, but I do like the wedding hat texture. I will say, it's very weird, but in a good way. It's unique, and Mario's is that way also, but I already opened Mario, which is not the point of this video. But these two give you virtually not much, like, in the game. I mean, like, it's cool, I guess, but it's not great, in my opinion. Amiibo really, like, I think that's one of the things that's kind of killing Amiibo, is that they're not doing much. In terms of what they do, they don't do much anymore. Versus our next set of Amiibo, Super Smash Bros. Amiibo. Yeah, I finally got to finishing, most of the collection here. I think I'm missing, like, 1 or 2. I have to double check. And since there's no Smash 6 coming out, thankfully, we could take a breather when it comes to Amiibo, or at least I can. But, I mean, they used to do stuff in the 3DS and Wii U version, but it's like, you can't, what are you going to use this on the 3DS for? I'm sorry, like, what is this, does this have any kind of effect in Dragon Quest on the 3D, like, is there a Dragon Quest on the 3D? I don't know, I don't play Dragon Quest. Or Dragon Quest on the Switch, does this have any effect? I don't think it does, and that's the problem I'm coming to terms with. Like, Sora, yeah, he's definitely going to be blank, because what is he going to do? Like, we get Chain of, what was it, the song Chain of Memories or whatever, if you buy the one game on the Switch and then transfer over to the Smash Brothers or something. I don't know, I think that was a weird deal they had with Square Enix. But this guy genuinely does nothing. I can't think of what he could do. But here's the thing, they used to have, like, in the 3DS version, they actually used to have custom moves, and I know some people might not know it, so let me just talk about that real quick. They used to have custom moves, they used to be unique moves, they used to have 12 different moves for each character. Now it's just kind of generic, and everyone's got, like, a special thing to them, versus, like, Bowser, or sorry, even Donkey Kong needs, like, you know, like, what happened to his banana gun? He needs his banana gun. Or Bowser, like, you know, give him something, like, unique from the Mario RPG series. Or Peach, even. Like, you know what? Honestly, the fact that she uses all the sports equipment, I'm gonna be honest, she might actually have, like uniqueness to her, but it's not really that great. But I don't know. No one's gotten really much updates. Even Link barely got an update in Smash Ultimate. Versus Sora, who has, like, you know, the Square Enix stuff, the Phantom Thief thing, and then whatever Byleth is. And then Hero has just RNG, and then Pyra and Mithra are just... Yeah, I'll be honest. Also, I'm more Team Pyra. But, let's just... I get to open these and see how they look. Because the box art, again, it's very generic. Now it kind of feels a bit like almost like ashamed to open these now, because you're just like, yep, I'm gonna open this and not touch it outside of like Smash Brothers and leveling it up. I will say the Amiibo AI and like the, you know, how they play are pretty good, and the detail on this is fantastic because, oh my god, look at that shield. But other than that, they don't do much, and I think that's the problem I'm falling into with this, is just they don't do much. Sora might be the rarest amiibo eventually if they, you know, can it, just because, you know, it's one of those things. Also, I promised that I would, I promised a friend a while back that I would go play every single Kingdom Hearts if he got in, because I never thought he'd get in because there were 3 parties involved. So I eventually now have to play Kingdom Hearts, and since that just came out on Steam recently, I might wait for a flash sale and then have, like, because, like, I have a backlog to get to. Like a big backlog. I have to, you know, a lot of stuff to get to. But I also want to review them, this way, you know, I can leave my mark on this earth. That's kind of what I want. Now, Sora, I mean, he's no Waluigi, but he did earn his place in Smash Bros. He did earn his place in Smash Bros. I hate saying it, too. But he earned it. And it's so weird that, like, seeing that little Mickey Mouse thing right there, that little... Oh. Ugh. Anyway, I will say... I never thought I'd see the day. I really thought, and I know they said that during Cloud's thing, but no, I never really thought I'd see it. And he has his, like, Kingdom Hearts 2 appearance and everything. It's wild for me to think. Now, Joker was just weird. Like, he was announced at the Game Awards, and, like, in terms of the artwork, I mean, like, you got the Smash logo here. Sora had that too, Yeah, Sora had that too. Everyone's got the Smash logo thing on top, but Joker was weird being announced at the Game Awards. I don't know. I didn't really care much for Joker, because I know a lot of people were excited about it. His entrance was cool. And his amiibo is pretty cool, but he is the only one to have a gun, which is just weird in Smash Brothers, but I mean, good for him. Apparently there are other, Phantom spirits, or whatever they're called in that game, that people wanted him to have more, but Arsene seemed to be, like, the one that everyone wanted to go to the most. I guess is, like, the starter one or something like that, or the one he's most, like, familiar with, which is fine. I don't have that much of a connection with this guy, just because Persona apparently is a, like, 600, 700-hour game, and I am not down to play all of that. That's too much. And I know I say this with the Hyrule Warriors thing, but hear me out. Byleth, I hate Fire Emblem. I'm just gonna say it. Smash Brothers has made me hate Fire Emblem. I might have given it a chance. You know, I might have given it a chance in Melee or something like that if that happened. But honestly, why are there so many Fire Emblem characters? I'm sorry. I know they're, like, easy to make, and Nintendo probably is like, oh, in-house representation. We love it. But, like, who cares? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't care for Byleth, and they didn't even care about Byleth. They didn't even release the female variant of Byleth. That's how much they actually cared about Byleth, right? Like, I mean, I guess the same goes for Wii Fit Trainer, that I think about it, but, like, yeah, no, it's like, if they really cared about variants, like Olimar or, like, the Koopa Kids or something, like, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, we're not gonna do that, and then they just kind of carry on. Like, if they had switched out the plastic with the Koopa Kids, I would have paid, like, $40 for that or something like that, because, you know, it would have been nice to be able to switch them out. They did that with Mr. Game & Watch, because people would have been mad if Mr. Game & Watch didn't have that, because he's a flat, unarticulated character. I don't know, I don't like Fire Emblem. I'm so sorry to my Fire Emblem fans. Now, Pyra and Mithra, on the other hand. Xenoblade, I want to play, and I was surprised of all of the love and representation that Xenoblade got. I didn't have it on the Wii, I didn't have it on the 3DS, I don't have it on the Switch, but it's a series I do want to play. just because I don't know when I'd ever play it, and they really should just package it all in one like thing. That's why I really would like anthologies on games. I really would like just a big collection package of all the games, especially if they're not getting games for a long time. I would love a God of War anthology, or like Doom had its own anthology. Doom 1, 2, the DLC for 2, that was a fan-made thing that became legit. 3, and then even not Eternal, 2016, they were all in like one package back in the day. But Xenoblade, Nintendo would never. And again, I've read Reggie Fils-Aimé's book and the Ask Iwata book, and I know why they do it. I just don't like that they don't do it, because it just... Then I gotta go to the aftermarket if I can't find it in store, or, something like that. If Nintendo had their own website where they would sell their own games online, like their own version of Steam, Nintendo could create the market for that. I know Ubisoft is trying, and I know that Sega is trying, and I know that Xbox basically kind of monopolized that. EA is EA. But yeah, no, in terms of Nintendo, I think they have the most valuable IP to where they could just put games on and have it be like a Steam kind of essence. I'm surprised they haven't, if I'm being honest. Pyra and Mythra, now listen, I love short-haired girls. I love long-haired girls. But in terms of like personality-wise and how I would play, I'm gonna be honest, in terms of Smash play, it's Pyra. It's genuinely Pyra. I build up the damage with Mythra, don't get me wrong. But like in terms of building up like damage, that's pretty much it. That's all I really do. And then when I get to someone like 60 to 70%, somewhere between there, then that's when I whip out, the old Pyra. And these two were censored. I mean, My Shit and I was also omitted, and Sakurai was even like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. We wanna, but we can't. Darn you, America. But no, yeah, they're censored, and I don't know, I just... if you saw my Plink episode, you know my answer to that. Anyway, I don't know, these are detailed, they're good. I would like to play Xenoblade a lot more. I don't know anything about these swords. It just seemed like another generic anime sword fighter, but I know it's not, unless you're you, and you get a pass. You have a legacy. You don't get a pass. See what the problem here is? And don't admit, this is a knife. This is a knife, this is a dagger, something. I don't know, I just, like, in terms of all of these Amiibo, they don't really do much. Like, I mean, like, you train these Amiibo, you don't get any more custom moves, and they don't even bring you anything anymore, and if you beat the game, it doesn't even matter anyway. They don't bring you spirits, they don't bring you, like, they bring you, what, money? Like, you could play with a friend, but if you don't have a friend who has Amiibo, there's no point. I mean, like, the Koopa and the... I don't even know what this Mario Bros. Series, like, ones do, actually. I should, like, look it up, because I just don't get them. They look cool on my shelf, and that's pretty much it. Which is why I think Nintendo should just start selling figures, and then maybe, like, small NFC chips just to satisfy people. Because, like, having a paraglider... and maybe a sword, like, it's not like the Wolf Link Amiibo where that actually worked in Breath of the Wild, and it was awesome, and I was so happy, and then they took it away from me. I don't know, like, what are your thoughts down below on the functionality of Amiibo? Because I really don't, I don't, like, I care for them more as figures now than I do the actual gameplay portion. And the reason I opened all of these is because I had to talk about this one. Also, it helps to clean up around and such. But I don't know. I just don't... This is a main function, right? Like, people were mad about it at first. I think they were more mad about, the price going up a little bit for this one. But this one's very detailed, and it serves a purpose because they couldn't rewrite the code to make it so that the game was different, I guess. Maybe they could have. I don't know. I think they could have. Maybe. But the statues are kind of all over the place. And unless you're going for 100%, it's not really going to matter that much. Which is, like, why I'm, like, teetering on, like, was this worth it? Buying it? I don't know. That's what the review is going to be for. So, if this doesn't go up by time the Skyward Sword review comes out, oops, spoiler alert. If it does, though, like, let me know what you think about the versatility of Amiibo, because I just don't understand, I don't know, like, why? Like, is the question, like, why they still keep doing it? Because Nintendo produces Amiibo still fairly frequently. they're just not as, like, commercialized anymore because they made the market for it. They still do the Toys to Life thing. They're the only company that still does the Toys to Life thing, unless you count the Street Fighter stuff that just was announced. I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit anymore in the market today, but it seems like they're still going strong with it because they have the market for it. They have the clientele for it. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, in terms of versatility, it's not there anymore, Chief. All right, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe, and also, a health tip for today. I'm trying to think. You know what? Just have some herbal tea. Go out, get some green tea. Go out, maybe get some wormwood. Go out, maybe get some, some burdock root, or maybe go out and, something, right? I did one tea thing already, but when this video comes out, it'll probably be later. But thank you very much for watching. Okay, bye, my sons.